Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Dr. Lawrence Okolie, the source Lawrence Okolie. You might like those two names. Former world champion isn't a name that you'd like, but you're looking to arrest that very soon. Lawrence, how's life?
Yeah, all good, man. All good, just ticking on, training hard, handling business, yeah.
Handling business indeed. Just rewind back to getting here in the first place, Lawrence. You changed trainers from Sugar Hill to now Joe Gallagher. What was the direction you were looking for to go in your career to make this change?
Just obviously getting back to sort of gritty, hard work, pushing the pace, pushing the gears, and just that sort of gritty trench mindset.
One of the things that was discussed as to when you went over to Dubai was you and your position in the UK. Are you living here now? Are you firmly entrenched here in the UK going forward?
No, listen, that's I mean, for those who know, because you did law, but yeah, you have particular days, and it just worked well right now. So we'll see how it goes.
Fair enough. And in terms of fitting in here, one of those things is, you pick a trainer, but sometimes things don't work out as you are aware of. How has things been working with Joe, and how do you feel you've improved in the weeks that you've had with Joe?
Yeah, just obviously it's gelling well. I've sort of bought into the philosophy. Obviously I know how to box, and whatever, but I think what we are working on is like decision making and refining certain things, and when to punch, and not how to punch so much, but when to punch and what shots to kind of look for and what circumstances and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of going back to like I don't want to say basics, but back to like just tactics, everyday tactics, whether it's just go through like don't hold back, go through gears in a sense as a tactic, and just a whole bunch of stuff.
I would say I was suitably impressed by the sparring that you were doing, in the sense of, look, the one main thing that follows you around in your career is the idea of holding and excessive holding. You weren't doing any of that in the sparring that I saw today. I don't know if that's a reflection of your sparring previous, but if that's a sign of things to come, then the one thing missing from your career so far, that entertainment factor, that piece of the jigsaw we put into the puzzle. You've got the wins, you've got the repertoire of skills. So just really fashioning that back and eliminate that from your game. Do you feel like you can do that under Joe?
Yeah, and I think it's all about doing it on the night. I think the good thing is that here we're really putting me in the situations that are likely to happen on fight night. When I'm allowed to just box and someone wants to box with me, it's fun, it's easy, but it's what happens on the day when everyone's got so for example, in sparring I find that most people are okay with getting pinged about, especially Lawrence is a world champion or was a world champion at the time, so that they're kind of okay with it going that way, and it just became a habit. But I think on fight day people aren't okay with getting pinged about. They just try hard. Do you know what I mean? So they, little gloves, and they just work. They just work. In sparring, they might not work as hard. So now we kind of got all the sparring partners working, got me kind of just having to be comfortable in those hard situations where before I might have looked to hold to get a breather or to try to slow things down or calm things down. Now we're, working on blocks, slips, moving my feet, just having different options so that I don't have to revert to that, So, and also, as you know, it's a small ring in here, so I'm forced to get rep after rep after rep of it. So, we can only, wait to see if I execute on fight night. But I feel good about it.
Was that what was happening under Sugar Hill and Shane McGuigan? Were you getting that and maybe still not being able to do it in the fight night, or is it different with Joe?
It's different. Like I said, with both trainers were great trainers, and I had some great performances with Shane and other trainers. But I think it's in all those fights, as either I was extremely fit, and for example, I mean, when I was boxing Glowacki and Jizwecki, I had sparring with Atuma, Thomas Carty, some other guys got brought in, so it was hard spars, 2-3 times a week. So that gets me pumped and ready for a fight, you know what I mean? And I'm used to, and then you're comfortable being in those positions. But in some other fights, the sparring might not have been as intense and whatever else. I do think that for me, I'm the type that I like to spar hard to get the best out of myself.
When it came to going the direction of choosing a new trainer, was the consideration there for maybe going back to Shane? Was that a door you wanted to open, or were you firmly chosen on Joe when you had the sessions with him?
I don't think it would work logistically anyway. At the time, I believed I was going to get a rematch with Chris, and you never know, the fight still might happen. And moreover, he's firmly based here, where Joe's able to be here and in Saudi, in that region, so it works well.
Forgot to mention Star of Stable. Have you seen it? I've watched all of them.
Say that again.
Star of Stable, the BBC iPlayer documentary. You're in there.
I haven't watched it. No. Is it good?
Yeah, genuinely, I'm not just saying it. It's really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was well shot and stuff like that. But I probably won't watch it because the hero arc is someone else, not me. Do you know what I mean? So I might watch it after I win this fight.
So what is the hero arc for you then? Grabbing the Bridgerweight title and looking to potentially move to heavyweight?
Yeah, I think my one is in terms of boxing, it would be obviously winning this fight, 2-time 2-weight world champion, and then try my hand at the heavyweight and see what I can do before I hang out the boots.
With Rozanski in the opposite corner, have you watched much tape on him? Is it about watching the tape on him? Is it just doing what you do best? Over in Poland as well, so the favour isn't in your hand.
I've watched tape, but it's tough because he's usually the guy he just gets knockouts within 3-4 rounds. So it's hard to really take because he's just been dishing out basically beatings to everyone. So it's hard to kind of break it down too much. You can see little things, but it's hard when the people that he's boxing aren't throwing shots at him to see how he reacts. So I guess we'll have to find out on the night.
You racked up a few wins against Polish cruiserweights. So I'm not going to like you when you get over there.
No, but I think Bournemouth was a good sort of experience, dealing with like a crowd that was rooting for the other guy, that experience I think is going to pay dividends here in Poland. And yeah, at the end of the day, as long as everyone is semi-respectful, obviously I expect them to back their guy and it to be very hostile, but we'll go in there and do our thing.
You talked about it being a lot on the night. What happened on the night against Chris Billam-Smith? Because it was, when we talk about fighters who've had experiences fighting each other in the sparring show, you would have had copious amounts of that with Chris. Maybe we would have thought the favour would have lent towards you, but it didn't appear to be that way on the night.
I think a couple of things. Obviously, with my style and stuff like that, it's very hard to kind of deal with, especially if you've never experienced it before. But where they had a lot of experience and stuff like that, with being in the ring with me, he was my Shane, my former coach. Stuff that might have broken someone's heart early, didn't. Just loads of things. And I just think ultimately, in fights, things can happen. And I think that on that day, it was his day. I didn't leave the ring feeling like he's amazing or anything like that. I just felt like, I threw it away. I held too much, got points deducted. I got knocked down in one of the early rounds. The other knockdowns, I didn't really. It meant obviously they counted, but I wasn't really like, oh my God, I've been. So it's like even the rounds I was winning were getting lost via poor decision making on my end. So with that one, yeah, that's all it really came down to, in my opinion.
Is this a complete departure from cruiserweight? If that rematch is to happen with CBS, would you have to jump up the weights for it to happen?
Yeah, definitely. It's impossible. Like I genuinely couldn't even dream of making that weight. Like even coming down to Bridgerweight, it's like I have to still make Bridgerweight. So it's like there's no way, and there's no way.
So when it comes to 1 iron heavyweight, are we looking at that next year potentially?
Yeah, definitely next year. I have obviously, as long as I win this next fight, I have a mandatory that I need to do, obviously, and then after that, I'd look to see what the heavyweight landscape looks like.
Get your thoughts on the cruiserweight scene at the moment in the form of CBS versus Rakpo, that rematch. Who you're backing in that one?
I think Chris should win. Chris should win as long as Rakpo doesn't, stop him, basically. So yeah.
When I watched back the tape, you did hit Chris with some solid shots. Do you feel you're able to fully connect on Chris? Because one of the big things for Rakpo is the power shots for him. So I'm thinking if he can take your power, then maybe he can take Rakpo.
Also, it's a tough one. I think if he can be G'd up the way he was, obviously that was 15,000 Bournemouth, first world title, opportunity, it was everything for him that day. So if he can bring that kind of energy forward again, maybe he will. But I do think, wearing that fight, his eye opened up massively. The fight he had since, he was getting caught a bit too much by Masternak. It's like he is there to sort of be caught and stuff like that. So, like, although I do favour him, you just can't ever say that, you know, he's got an unbreakable chin or whatever else. So I'm rooting for him, but I don't know. I don't know.
Is it a sense of, for you, just going back to yourself in that fight with CBS, that the occasion maybe half beat you as well? Not in the sense that you were nervous, but you're saying about Chris being G'd up for it.
Yeah, I just think that, as I said, I was really breaking it down tactically or whatever else. That, like, he did well with obviously landing the left hook in that fourth round that dropped me, and then after which, you know, when I was trying to push the pace, he, you know, hung in there well, and I think. As I said, mainly it was a case of points getting taken, whether it was knockdowns or whether it was points deducted or knockdowns. It wasn't like a case of he pinged me about for 12 rounds or anything like that. So I don't want to overdo it. It was like I said, I've very well done to him, but that's pretty much it.
Seems like you studied the fight a lot. You do that with a lot of your fights.
Oh, win, lose, whatever. The thing is, it's clear. It's not like that's not a hard breakdown. It's like,
but more in the sense of you to look forward and improve on.
Yeah, that's it really. The bottom line is I lost the fight, so it's like, oh, why did I lose that fight? So I looked at, I was holding too much. I was not bringing my right hand up on exit in. There's little silly tactics and little just not being switched on to what I have to do, just being a kind of away with the fairies. And yeah, as I said, you live and you learn, and you will hope to right that wrong in this fight, because this guy's obviously a massive puncher that I'm boxing next, and he's good with hooks. So I have to be switched on to blocking and dodging hooks and coming back with my counters. So yeah, we'll see what's next.
Jai Apatow versus Breedis too.
I think Jai should win that. I mean, Breedis is obviously a lot older now, been inactive. So if anything, I expect him to stop him.
Just getting a glimpse on the heavyweight division, Anthony Joshua looked fantastic in his resurgence, ending with the emphatic knockout of Francis Ngannou. Is he back to his best, Lawrence?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he's always been a great fighter. So yeah, it'll be good. It's exciting, I think, with the confidence and just him buying into who and what he is, which is a good boxer with great power and great athleticism, and maybe not overdoing that obviously boxing's the most important thing, but kind of just reverting to what you are. Like, you're a big, strong power puncher with good boxing fundamentals. Go out there and stamp your foot on fights, and so it's good.
Your former stablemate Dubois looks to be on back and winning ways, getting the victories, really enjoying things. People have taken to him a lot more as well too. Do you think he beats Filip Hrgović?
I think it's a good fight. Like, Dan, I still think is one of the hardest punchers I've ever been in the ring with. So he has obviously good fundamentals, good solid jab, good punching power. He's probably feeling very confident at the moment. Hrgović, I think, is stylistic. Obviously, he's taller and got good sort of punch power and grit. But I don't know how that fight would go. I think it's a good fight. I think he can beat Hrgović like in middle round, because Hrgović seems to sort of dip in the middle of fights down the stretch. So if he can sort of box his way through the first few rounds and then put it on him later, maybe he can get I don't know. It's a good fight.
Good fight indeed. What about Fury versus Usyk? It looked like, for me, Fury looked a lot leaner heading into the fight with Oleksandr Uysk. Do you feel that's the right way of thinking, to be lean, maybe move more? We know Sugar Hill's MO, you know it as well, is to go for the knockouts, but maybe he might have to rely on what got him to the dance in form of boxing.
I'm not sure. I think obviously he'll probably still weigh a lot more than him anyway, but maybe he doesn't want Usyk to be able to sort of fiddle his way through, landing jabs to the body and whatever else to kind of get through the fight. But I do think obviously him being heavier has its advantages of just if he manages to lean on him or anything like that. But I don't know. I just expect Fury to win. Although I rate Usyk so highly, it's like every time I say Fury should win, I kind of always think, oh, will he? But Fury should win. He's a big, great heavyweight who's beaten all the top heavyweights, and now can he deal with like a smaller, nippier sort of guy? Usyk is 36. Was it 36, 37? 36, wow. So has he still got the same legs he had when he was 28, 29, 30, 31, 32? I'm not sure, so we'll see.
You ever sparred Usyk? Forgive me if not.
No, I wish. Right now.
Ever came close to it?
Yeah, there was a couple of times. I think when he was boxing, I can't remember. He was boxing someone and they asked me to come down. I said, yeah, and then it never happened.
How come?
I don't know. Just never happened. They brought someone else in.
When you say you wish, what is it like?
Just to experience it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I've watched him and I rate him highly. You know, seen him, do amazing things on fight nights and whatever else. So it would have been good to just see, what is it about him that's doing so? Because it's one thing to look at someone and say, I would do this. It's another thing to obviously experience it. So yeah, it's been good.
A couple of final things, Lawrence. A lot of talk about, you mentioned there Moses Talman, him and his rise. A lot of eyes on him. Just how good is he, having had the sparring with him?
Yeah, he's probably one of the best young guys I've seen. I think when I sparred him first, he was 15, and I was just boxing for the world title, and he gave me the hardest spar I had to date that time. So yeah, he's very good.
And Wilder versus Jang, what do you think of that fight?
I don't know why I think Zhang's going to win, personally, unless he gets knocked out. He's a bigger guy. He's been on a good sort of run of form, even despite losing to Parker. He still knocked him down a few times and it was good. Like, I just think that Wilder's going to struggle probably with just like the size, and because we've seen with what happened with him versus Fury. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure. It's another good fight.
Most importantly, in your fight with Rozanski, what happens?
I think obviously the first maybe 3 or 4 rounds will be high pace, and it'll take me obviously landing some good shots to head and body to sort of slow it down, and then by the time we get to the middle rounds, I believe I'll put enough dents in him to sort of take him out.
Lawrence Okolie 2.0.
Yeah, why not?
Lawrence, pleasure. Thanks for taking us out.
Thank you.
All the best.